If you're staring at the Juki DNU 1541S and wondering whether it's the machine that will finally let you stitch leather jackets, vinyl upholstery, or a heavy-duty tote without breaking the bank, you're not alone. Who is this actually good for, who should skip it, and is it worth the price for normal everyday buyers? Link is in the description if you want to check the product details on Amazon. The hesitation most people feel isn't about the brand Juki has a solid reputation but about buying a piece of equipment that either sits idle because it's overkill or ends up straining under projects it wasn't built for. First, let's talk about the type of work that pushes a standard home sewing machine into the red zone. When you start experimenting with leather belts, vinyl car seat repairs, or thick canvas bags, the fabric thickness alone can stall a regular machine, strip the needle, or leave you with uneven stitches. That's the exact sweet spot the DNU 1541S aims to fill. It's marketed as an industrial unit, but the price point sits lower than many full-blown production machines, which is why the value question keeps coming up in forums. People who have a modest side business think a weekend upholstery gig or a small custom leather line often find themselves stuck between a cheap domestic machine that can't handle the material and a commercial unit that costs 3 times as much. What the DNU 1541S brings to the table is a Unison-feed walking foot combined with a servo motor. In practice, that means the needle and the feed dogs move in perfect sync, pulling heavy material through without the slippage you get on a plain feed. I saw a YouTuber demonstrate stitching a 1-inch thick leather strap for a belt, and the machine kept the seam straight without any puckering. The walking foot also helps when you're quilting a heavyweight denim quilt. The layers stay aligned, and the motor doesn't bog down. For anyone who's ever tried to sew a vinyl top and watched the fabric bunch up at the needle, that synchronized feed is a real time saver. The safety mechanism is another practical feature that isn't just marketing fluff. Because the machine is designed for industrial environments, the safety switch prevents accidental starts. In a small workshop where kids might be around or you're juggling tools, that pause button can stop a needle from diving into a piece of leather the moment you step away. It's a small comfort, but when you're pulling a long seam on a couch cushion, that extra layer of protection can keep you from a nasty finger injury. Now, let's balance those strengths with some practical weaknesses. The DNU 1541S is a single needle machine. If your production line requires parallel stitching, say, matching to panned bottom seams on a leather jacket at the same time, you'll need a second machine or a different model. Also, the machine ships partially assembled, meaning you'll have to attach the table, the lamp, and the walking foot assembly yourself. Most users report that the process isn't overly complicated, but it does add a few minutes of setup that a fully pre-assembled unit would skip. For a hobbyist who just wants to plug it in and start stitching, that extra step might feel like a hurdle. Another nuance is the speed range. The servo motor provides smooth control, but the machine isn't built for ultra-high-speed production. If you're looking to churn out dozens of identical leather straps per hour, you might find the cycle time a bit slower than a dedicated production line. Conversely, if you're a maker who values stitch quality over raw speed, the consistent feed and reduced vibration can actually improve your final product's look. Who should buy this machine? Small-scale upholsterers, leather artisans, and DIY enthusiasts who frequently work with heavyweight fabrics will find the DNU 1541S a solid middle ground. The ability to handle everything from 10-ounce canvas to 20-ounce leather without changing the feed system makes it versatile enough for a range of projects. If you already own a basic domestic machine and keep hitting the needle broke or fabric jammed wall, this could be the upgrade that finally lets you take on those tougher jobs without a massive capital outlay. Who should skip it? If you're primarily a garment maker stitching lightweight cotton, jersey, or linings, you'll likely never tap into the heavy material capability, and a regular sewing machine would be cheaper and simpler. Likewise, if you need multiple needles for decorative stitching, a double needle or a serger would serve you better. Finally, if you're setting up a high-volume production line where every second counts, you may need a faster, multi-needle industrial system that can keep pace with larger orders. Value-wise, the DNU 1541S positions itself against Juki's own 1508 model, promising the same core features at a more economical price. In the 81 rating pool, the average sits at 3.9 stars, solid but not stellar. That suggests most buyers are satisfied with the core functionality but may have experienced the minor drawbacks we just covered. The inclusion of the table and lamp in the package also adds practical value. You won't need to purchase a separate work surface or lighting fixture.